This is the Austin and Ryan vlog. I am Ryan. I am the editor, and I am the person you will be seeing on the screen.
And I'm Austin. I'm the writer and audio person.
Co-editor.
Co-editor.
So today we will be discussing on the Austin and Ryan show the overarching question of what role does reality play in the world? And we will be doing this by looking at 6 books, which are
A Separate Peace by John Knowles. A Good Man is Hard to Find by Flannery O'Connor. Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. Night by Elie Wiesel. As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger.
in A Separate Peace, Keith faces the reality of how he killed his best friend and the innocence that he kept within himself. To relate this to the real world, Gene is like a soldier coming back from war. He questions things about life, about why he's here and why he isn't dead. He questions whether he killed his friend on the battlefield, even though the enemy was the one who killed him. Like the Shard of Bone, the enemy that killed Finney. The Shard of Bone was made because of the broken bone that Gene pushed him out of the tree, so he feels guilty for killing him. This completely changes the view of the world in the person's eye, or, in this context, Gene's. The feeling of being guilty, and that they are the ones that deserve to be dead, not their friends. This reality that they face changes their perception of the world completely in that they question everything about it and are confused. They are completely lost in a harsh, unforgiving environment in which we call world. In Catcher in the Rye, Holden faces the reality that it is impossible not to grow up. You have to grow up. And no matter what precautions you take, a child cannot keep their innocence forever, especially in the world we live in right now. Pretty awful. At this point, Holden is completely overwhelmed by the reality that he is growing up, and he's gonna grow up no matter what. He just can't avoid growing up. He just learned that. Here's Holden showing that, facing the reality that you can't avoid growing up, and that you're going to avoid growing up, has changed his perception on life and the world dramatically by making him, 1, go insane, as he did throughout the whole book, and 2, everything that people were telling him that was going to happen, happened. Through Night, we see how one is forced to face the reality of the cruelty of man, that people question their faith as a result of the trauma that comes along with it. For the first time in Ellie's life, he is experiencing a terrible thing that is out of his control. When you are growing up, it is your parents who are supposed to shield you from these kinds of things. However, because Ellie, who was introduced to these realities at such a young age, started questioning things like faith. At one point, Ellie was a good student of the Torah, but the reality of man not only made him question his own faith, but the whole religion of Judaism. As I Lay Dying is written in the form of many first-person narratives. This reminds the reader that any ideas or event is subjective by the perspective, or in this case, the reality that the person is experiencing in it. Also, it shows, no matter the situation, it is impossible to make truly unbiased decisions without knowing all of the realities. A Good Man is Hard to Find showcases how, in a desperate situation, your mind makes you forget about reality and focuses only on one thing, staying alive. The grandmother clearly demonstrates this, considering that when she was put into a dangerous situation, she lost total control of her moral conviction and lost sight of the reality that her children and her grandchildren were in the situation with her. This shows that whenever people try to make a last-ditch effort, they turn barbarous and inhumane against the ones they love, which completely changes their world and people around them. Slaughterhouse-Five, Billy Pilgrim learns that life is shaped through the moments you choose. The Travelomadorians made him realize, through their sense of time, that the moments you choose defines the world you live in. Focusing on bad moments means a bad life, while focusing on good moments means you live a good life. So focus on good moments to live a good life. So if you were to have bad, because nothing is completely bad, life, your perception of the world would be that the world is a terrible and awful place. Alright, if you look at life as good, again with the quotations because nothing can be perfect, then the world is an awesome, amazing place. The reality part is the moments that you choose to live in it. These moments then determine your outlook on life. This book also has a couple other confusing things like sense of time and stuff like that, but that just gets people confused and gives me a headache.
Why'd you do that? YOLO?
YOLO.
This is Austin and Ryan. Special thanks to Josh for the book voiceover. Signing off.